What is up, everybody? We are back. It is your boy Lift God with the Super Rare Talk Show podcast. We don't have a name yet. I know we put it out for you guys to help us choose some names. Still help us. Send us messages, DMs, comment on this, whatever you guys think it should be or whatever you think would be cool. Go ahead and send it. We're all ears. We had one name. We had one name that we were thinking of, but then it was kind of like it just wouldn't work. It's kind of funny, but anyways, yeah. Do you have any names, any recommendations? Just send them over. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff. Help us get in your algorithms, and if you here and you've been here for a while, thank you for coming back. We have a good amount of stuff to talk about, and yeah. I hope everybody's week was good. Hope everybody enjoyed the fights. I was pretty busy the last time we were here, or last time on the last episode. I was house sitting out in South Pasadena, so I wasn't back. Now I'm back in my house. Got the cool little purple light in the background. Looks better, got a better little mic stand, all that good stuff. So, yeah, everybody was in town for my sister's graduation. Went and saw that, the new Flash, which I thought was pretty dope. I don't really watch DC movies that much. I guess my favorite movie is the Joker, the one with Joaquin Phoenix. He's the best Joker. I don't care what anybody says. Heath Ledger was also really good, but Joaquin Phoenix, he'd go. It was really cool. I thought. I haven't seen any of the other Flashes or anything like that. Kept me entertained the whole time. That's why I like to watch movies. I hate when people are going well, the story and the score, and it's not the same as the comic book. It doesn't matter, honestly. Just watch the movie. If you're entertained, then the movie was good. But yeah, and then we watched the fights. It was a pretty good fight card, I would say. There was a good amount of finishes. So, a good amount of decisions as well too, but some good showings. Usually these fight cards, I feel like they don't have gigantic names or tend to be super fun just because they're all trying to get that name. Not saying that even if they already have a name that they're not going to show out, and come out and give us a good show, but I feel like that is a trend when it's, lower name people that are trying to go up there and get the hype, that type of stuff. When you see some banger fight cards, or we see some banger fights, or it's the other way where it's just we don't really ever focus on these people that have the smaller name per se. And we go and watch them, we're like, damn, there's so much good fighters in the UFC. Hence it's why it's the A, because they always have the best fights. Even the unranked fighters are top notch, and yeah. But anyways, the fight card was really good. I'll go over a couple of them because we have a pretty cool fight card this upcoming week, or tomorrow, and I'm excited for it. And there's some really good fights on there, some good name people on there as well too. If you're more about, I want to see people have bigger names fight, but let's go over a couple of the fights. Let's go ahead and switch us over here. Bam. So, first and foremost, Marvin Vettori, Jared Cannonier. I got it wrong. I thought Marvin Vettori was going to come away with the decision. It was the other side, which, like I mentioned in the other show, I know you guys remember. Don't try to flip it on him and be like, yeah, he didn't like him. I was going to be happy either way because Jared's from Arizona. I'm an Arizona guy, so I was happy with the win. But I was right on the sense that I said it has the recipe to be either pretty boring or a pretty good fight. And it turned out being a really fun fight. It was one of those things where, don't get me wrong, Jared won that fight and Marvin did look good, but I think it was more, Jared landed a history or record-breaking number of significant strikes for a middleweight fight, and it was fight of the night. But on some of those things in my head, sometimes I'm like, I feel like it should just be Marvin was there and he landed some good strikes, but it was, Jared just kind of did work and pieced him up, you know what I'm saying, on a good amount of the fight. Like I said, Marvin had his moments, but so it's is that fight of the night or is that performance of the night? You get what I'm saying? It was an entertaining fight, so I understand it, but it was kind of I would say one-sided. The first round was pretty close, but I felt like Jared did pretty well throughout the whole fights. He might have maybe not landed as much numbers, but I feel like obviously his strikes were way more damaging. He's a big dude, like I said, man. It's just like, I know he's not the tallest guy, but he has some, like, he's dense. I could tell that he's really dense because he's coming up from heavyweight. So he did some real damage on Marvin. And kudos to Marvin. I know I said it in the last one, but you don't really ever see him get finished. And he got hit with some shots by Jared Cannonier that Jared Cannonier puts people away with. And, I mean, he's stuck. He's stuck in there. He took those shots like a champ. He delivered some shots, too, on Jared. And, Jared ate him, but he was game the whole time. So, in that sense of the fight, and I know I was kind of sounding like a freaking noob and an idiot on the other stuff, but, like, it was a very good fight. I'm happy to see Jared win. It's hard because it's, for these types of fights, it's like, what do you do now in the sense of, Izzy's beat everybody, and it's like, he's almost beat everybody twice. I mean, he's beat Marvin twice. He's beat Robert Whittaker twice. He beat Paulo Costa. He didn't beat Paulo Costa twice, but Paulo Costa hasn't really earned a shot there, you know what I'm saying, for another title shot. But now it's just like, it's all rematches. I know we have the Robert Whittaker fight coming up, but still, it's just like, for Jared Cannonier, it's like, what do you do? Obviously the best fight for him at this point would have been Pieta, but Pieta's going up to 205. So it's like, you can wait for the Robert Whittaker, Duplessis fight, but that winner is getting Izzy, and so he could fight the loser of that. But say if it's Robert Whittaker, they already fought. Whittaker already did work on him. Yeah, the Duplessis fight might be entertaining if he does. I think he's gonna lose to Whittaker, so that might be entertaining. But other than that, then you got Costa, who knows if that fight would ever happen. I feel like Costa just hasn't fought, and even if he gets a fight announced at this point, you got to be like, all right, we'll see, because all the stuff that's going on with him. And then he already beat Brunson. Brunson's about to retire, I think, after his next fight, or he did retire. I don't know. There was speculation he was kind of going back and forth. And then Sean Strickland, who Jared Cannonier beat already, which was a close fight. I will add that. That was a very close fight. Wouldn't be mad if you gave that fight to Strickland. But at this point, it's, for me, it's like, where do you go from there? I mean, he can wait, obviously, for a round for a title shot, but he's kind of already getting a little older. And, yeah, I don't know what he does from here. Hopefully it's a good fight. Hopefully it's a good paying fight. Fuck it, dude. Like, go up to 205 and fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, he fought at 205 already. You don't got to worry about John Jones wrestling no more. We obviously know he has power. He's a big dude. Try out, like, go to 205, bruh. Shit. So you can mix match, you know what I'm saying? Just because, like, shit's about to be a little stagnant in the middleweight division, at least for him, in the sense of getting a title fight. I know he wants a title fight. I know someone asked him about Hamza, and he got all pissed off. But it's like, maybe go to 205. You fought there. You got wins there. He's one of the only people, aside from Connor, right, who has knockouts in 3 weight classes. So, shit, if he might even be able just to go up to 205 and win one fight and get a title fight off of that. You never know. So it is weird though, because like when you look at Jamal Hill, like Jamal Hill is big, dude. He's a big dude. He looks a little out of shape right now, not gonna lie, but he's a big dude, man. I'm a big fan of Jamal Hill. So like those fights, you gotta kind of be like, well, you can go to 205, but those dudes are big, bro, and they can strike and they have all that shit. So I don't know. Anyways, congrats to God, my freaking eye started itching right there, and I lost all my train of thought. Congrats to Jared Cannonier. For Marvin, I guess now he's like full-time in Vegas. I actually did not know that. I remember the last time he was out here in California, Blackhouse, because he used to, he's used super rare gloves. Like, he's had our stuff before. He's been into the shop. He's really cool. He gave us good feedback. He loved the gloves, which is dope. And yeah, I didn't realize he switched over to Vegas. So for him, next for him, I feel like it might be weird, but he might be in a better spot than Jared Cannonier at this point. Because I know he lost, but say, like, there's more. I feel like there's more fights for him. Like, I don't think he's fought Strickland yet, and he could still fight. Like, let's see. I'm looking at. He could still fight Duplessis if he loses to Whitaker. You know what I'm saying? Costa, he fought again. He fought at 205. So they could redo that fight at 85. That was a fun fight. That was a close fight. So yeah, I don't know. The middleweight division for me is kind of just like stuck right now. Only because, like, Izzy's so dominant, and that's a good thing on Izzy. He's beating everybody, so much and so convincingly that you're just like, man, that's your fault. You guys got to figure out how to beat him. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, good fight. Next fight we'll talk about Arman Tsarukyan versus Joaquim Silva. Hey, honestly, it was a really good fight. This Silva guy impressed me. There's not that much people that can fight and beat Arman. And I'll say this again. When he fought Gamrot, he won that fight. He got robbed by the judges. One of the only people that has fought Islam aside from Volkanovski, which is, put that in your head, it's crazy because he's a 45er. But aside from him, one of the only people to give Islam so many problems. It was a fun fight. The wrestling was like almost neck and neck. I would love to see that fight again because Arman has some clean striking. Islam striking's gotten better. It's like, I want to see that fight again. So shout out to Silva, but Arman did what he did. It's a good fight. He finished him on the floor in the third round. Arman is so good, and I'm telling you guys this now. If you don't know who he is, check him out. Go watch that Islam fight. It was a fun fight. Go watch the Gamrot fight because he beat him, in my opinion. But Gamrot's, you guys know how good he is, so go watch that fight. But shout out to Arman, dude. Honestly, I'll show you guys these rankings right here. So he's ranked number 8. Right now it's Thursday, so these are updated, right? But there's a lot of good fights that he can have. Like, we already know Poirier and Gaethje are fighting. Beneil just got, finished. So I don't think he's going to fight anytime soon. But look what kind of fights we have. I don't think they're going to do the Emmett fight if he fought him, but he can do Rafael Fiziev. Dude, that's such a fun fight, dude. Then you got to really see if Rafael's ground game is going to be well enough. I feel like if you want to test out your grappling before you fight the final boss in Islam, Arman is the second guy. He's number 2 in the wrestling, in straight up wrestling MMA. Everybody else has good wrestling, don't get me wrong, but I think obviously his is a different style. I think that's the fight they should make, is Arman and Rafael. That would be a fun fight. I don't think Rafael, he's not matched up with anybody right now. Give him that fight. Like, why not? That shit would be fun as hell, honestly. So that's my opinion on that. I think Arman, honestly, like, Islam's one of those guys where you can be like, man, he's about to be champ forever. But at this point, where the lightweight division's at, I don't think so. There's so much good fighters coming up now. That's why I'm so hyped to be, a fan of this sport, being involved in a sport. It's just, there's so much talent coming up now. It's freaking wild. And Arman, man, he might be one of those next guys that we'll be seeing fighting for the title here soon. Because at this point, it's like, you can fast track him, which at this point, I think it would be fine. He's ranked number 8, so it's not like you're giving him unranked to title. He's fought really good people. He's fought, tough people. He had good showings on the Islam and Gamrot fight. Like, maybe one more fight. Give him Rafael. If he beats Rafael, bro, that's title shot right there, my guy. It really is. I mean, as much as I want to see Alex come up, And because I think Alex can do good at lightweight, man. That fight against Islam was pretty impressive. I do think Arman can be your next champ. Huge fan of Gaethje. Huge fan of Oliveira, obviously. That's my dude. But it's just like, I feel like the best chance of someone beating, I do think that Oliveira can beat Islam. I do, wholeheartedly. When they fight again, I'm going for Oliveira. And I know why. But speaking on these terms, just because he just fought, Arman is the next guy, number 2, that I think gives him the most problems. Last fight I want to talk about, because I talked about these guys right here, is Manuel Torres versus the Nicolas Mota. I was saying this fight could be fight of the night. It wasn't. He got performance of the night, Manuel Torres, because he knocked him out in the first round with an elbow that looked so hard. Like, I love this sport, and I remember I used to want to fight, man. I was training a lot. I was doing all this shit, but it strikes like that. I mean, this man just literally gave his whole body weight and threw his whole body weight into this elbow, and it landed so flush on Nicholas. And Nicholas is good, bro. Manuel Torres is a big lightweight, dude. We'll see like how his ground game will step up. See, it's like people like this, when they're coming up, they're gonna have to start fighting people like Arman to see if their grappling's gonna be able to, if they're gonna be able to do shit in this weight class when they get to the top. You know what I'm saying? And man, he's good. He's good. He's a good guy off of the Contender Series. It'll be cool to see. He's waku, he's like screaming, his eyes get all big, he does this shit. So he's definitely a character I think that the UFC can use. But yeah, man, that was a good one. That was a really good fight, impressive, and yeah. But other than that, the fights were really good. Some of them, some of the fights I got right in my head. Some of them were wrong. There was a really bad decision that Dan Argueleta and Ronnie Lawrence, like, it was, I don't know if you guys saw it. It was, so he thought he was gonna, or what's his name? The guy that looks like freaking, he would hang out with Bam Margera. No nonsense, Keith, whatever, the ref. He thought he was gonna tap. He like stopped the fight even though he didn't tap. They even like watched the replay and everything like that. He owned up to his mistake, but then the fight was done. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like everybody always says they have the hardest job in the world, and I know it's hard, but that sucks. I feel like that's such a big mistake, and like these people lose half their money. Either one of them, whoever was gonna win that fight, unless Dana in the back just threw him some money, extra money. Aside from the show, but that affects that win bonus. So it's like, at this point, it's like, what do you do? Like, does the ref get fined at that point? You know what I'm saying? Like, do they earn all their money still for that night? These guys still show up to work. I know he showed up to work, but he ruined them from being able to finish their job. So so technically half of their pay gets cut. So does half of his pay get cut, or does he lose a chunk on that? Like, that's where I'm confused. And that guy, he's had a bunch. I know Dominic Cruz is not a fan of him because he's had his issues with him and his fights. And it's hard. And I feel bad because, like, nowadays, if a ref messes up, they just get butchered. Like, man, people go crazy. But, like, that was a pretty big mess up, honestly. And it really does suck. And I feel like at that point, it's like, man, why can't you just restart the fight? You know what I'm saying? Like, he noticed it would suck because I'm sure the fighters, like, their adrenaline dropped down, they're tired. But I'm sure if you ask those fighters in that moment, do you guys just want to keep going? They're going to be like, hell yeah, let's keep going. What the fuck? So it's just it's a little bit of a bummer. But that's my question, is like, what do we do to the refs? Like, just like how everybody gets mad at these judges, right? Like, they should get held accountable. We should interview them after, should do the same thing with the refs. If they make like a crazy call like this, because then he just kind of goes away scot-free. He's going to be back next week, maybe tomorrow, reffing some fights. But like, so I'm not saying we need to butcher him and all that shit, but maybe he gets fined. Like, I don't know. It just sucks, especially when it's, I feel like almost consistent with him. I feel like he messes up a good amount of times, but who knows? Yeah. But anyways, this next week we are in Jacksonville, and this fight card is sick. This main event, if you don't know these fighters, I mean, there's no way you don't know these fighters if you're watching UFC, because they're both knockout artists. They're both powerhouses in featherweight. One of them had all this beef with freaking Patty to Batty, so everybody, of course, is probably going to know him. But we got Josh Emmett versus Ilia Topuria. This fight, if you don't know these fighters, I mean, you should know these fighters if you're watching the UFC, because they're both knockout artists. They're both freaking forces to be reckoned with in the featherweight division. We got Emmett. He just fought Yair and lost. He came up short on that fight, but I mean, obviously we all know he's really, really good. We got Ilia, who's like he's 13-0. He just beat Bryce Mitchell. He has insane knockout power. He's very good on the ground. Remember when he beat Ryan Hall? He knocked out Ryan Hall. So this fight is a very, very good fight. They're both short and stocky, so you know they both got power. Not one's gonna have like this crazy reach advantage. You know, it's a pretty even fight. I think the biggest thing that you're gonna see that might show, and this is why I'm choosing him, is age. So that's why I think Ilia is gonna win this fight. I'm a Josh Emmett fan. I was a Team Alpha Male fan for a long time. You know, a lot of my one of my favorite fighters is from there, Cody Garbrandt, and you know, shout out Cody Garbrandt. He rocks a super rare. I saw him. He posted the stuff about super rare wearing our shirt. Shout out Cody Garbrandt. But he's from Team Alpha Male. I know he's out in Vegas now, but it's just Josh Emmett. He's always been good. He's always been really game. He has really good knockout power, really good striking. He's very powerful. All of that, right? He has good wrestling. He's explosive. I think the thing that I've seen maybe that might be his like Achilles heel out of everything. I'm not saying it's horrible. It was maybe his gas tank, but Ilia, man, this guy, he's young. He's only improved every single fight, which is crazy because he's already so good. His striking is amazing. And he's already shown in early fights. I think it was like against a guy named Roberts, where he was in the first round, he got like head kicked. And like you would thought anybody else would be like knocked out completely. But he came back and knocked him out cold. He did this nasty like body head combo, and his striking is just next level. They put him up against Ryan Hall because they were like, oh, let's see how good his ground game is, because he's a black belt. I mean, granted, he didn't grapple with Ryan Hall. No one's gonna actually like grapple with Ryan Hall, but I mean, he knocked him out like on the floor. You know, at a certain point, he was just like, man, fuck it, I don't give a shit, and he went down there and knocked him out. And I just honestly, I think the youth. I think nowadays, you know, we're starting to see these young guys come up that have been training and everything, that are very good everywhere, that are fast, they're strong, powerful. And I think that's what we have with Ilia. And I do think he probably is going to finish Josh Emmett, man. Honestly, it's crazy to think. I'll show you guys the stats right here. 18-3 for Emmett, 13-0 for Ilia. You know, they're Josh 5'6", Ilia 5'7". You know what I'm saying? Look at the reach isn't that different, 70 to 69. I just, you know, I think there's such a similar matchup that it's going to be like literally like just who's better. And I know Josh Emmett hits hard and he fights people that, you know, are good, but he has that knockout power. He's fighting somebody with that knockout power. He's fighting somebody that's just his game. He has a chin on him. He's not scared to just get dirty, and if it's going to be a slug fight, I know they're both I know Emmett's really fast and he's good, but I think he tends to throw a lot of looping punches, while Ilia throws those as well, but his boxing is so clean. I feel like he's going to catch him, honestly, and I think it's going to be an early fight. Like, I'm saying within round 1 and 2, I think we're going to see Ilia take this fight by a finish, which kind of sucks. You know, I like Josh Emmett. You know, in this weight class, no matter what, it's my boy Max Holloway all day, every day. But these fighters that are coming up are very talented. It's very exciting. It's a very exciting weight class. Like even Ilya's last fight when he fought Bryce Mitchell, that was a fun fight. I mean, it wasn't a fun fight. It was a one-sided fight where Ilya just beat him up. But it was like a fun fight for the division because you have two young guys, and like that's what we're starting to get in these divisions are these young guys coming up, and they're all competitive, and like you're gonna start seeing like the champion into the top 10. They're all like 25, 26, 27, you know. And that's the thing with Emmett. He's getting a little older, and I think now it's just these young guys are about to. I think it's gonna get to the point where they're a little too fast, a little too powerful, and it's just because like everybody's been doing this for so long now. Ilya has some fights in the UFC. It's not like he's a newcomer where he hasn't faced anybody like this before. So I just think that Ilya's gonna show out this one, and I think we're gonna see him win this fight by finish, and it's just gonna itch him closer and closer to a title. I think they're trying to get him to the title fight, because him versus Volk would be a interesting and fun matchup. So I think that's what they're trying to do. Having him fight, you know, person that just fought for their interim, and we'll see, man. I'm very excited for that fight. Next fight we got Amanda Ribas versus Maycee Barber. If you watch the old show, you guys know I am a big fan of Amanda Ribas, and yeah, and like I said, I'm a fan of Team Alpha Male. I have been for a while. Nowadays, you know, I don't really follow too many fighters from there. You know, Cody was my dude, so when he left, I kind of like, you know, he still goes there here and there, but he's mainly Vegas now, and so I kind of just like, well, he was my guy there, you know what I'm saying? So kind of just, you know, I not that I don't like Alpha Male, but I don't really like rock with them in the sense of like every Team Alpha Male fighter I'm going for no matter what, you know what I'm saying? Maycee Barber is very good. She gets a lot of heat. And I know I've given some heat as well, too, because some of these fights that she's won were very close, and a lot of people don't think that she won. Like the last fight, the Andrea KGB Lee, who also messes with Super Rare. Shout out Andrea KGB Lee. I thought Andrea won, and I think a lot of people did, too, and she got the decision when she fought Miranda Maverick. I didn't think she won that fight either, and she got it on the scorecard, so, you know, kudos to her. It's not like she's not good. She's a very good fighter. Amanda Ribas is very good as well too. They're both aggressive. Their records are very similar. We got 12-3, 12-2. They're similar in height, 5'4", 5'5", similar reach, 66, 65. So at this point, I think what the biggest difference in this fight for me is gonna be there's two things: the aggression on the feet and who's stronger. I think Maycee Barber might have a little more advantage in that. I know Amanda Ribas' striking is getting better. I wouldn't say Maycee Barber's striking is the best either. I know there's that one video that goes around where she like does like a whole shadow boxing combination just like in the air. I wouldn't say it's the best, but I think she might be a little better on the stand up. What I'm interested to see is Amanda Ribas obviously is very talented on the ground once it gets there, because I feel like Maycee Barber's might try to use that tactic in this fight where she wants to take her down and just control her and beat her up. But I feel like Amanda Ribas is very good in that sense, and she'll be able to hold her own. I think here we might see more stand-up than anything, just because I think they're both I feel like grappling might be like the play on both ends. But I do think that Ribas is getting better. She's starting to use her striking a little smarter, in the sense of sometimes these people that are unorthodox and that aren't the best, they can be the worst ones to spar with, you know. And trust, like I said before, I've never gone out there and fight, but I've trained for a long time, sparred a lot of times. You know, and we've had a bunch of different people in and out of the gyms, and sometimes the worst people to spar with are the people that aren't technically the best. Just because, like, if you're used to training with people that are good, right, everything's coming like at a normal, or not speed, I'd say, but you're used to it. Your jab is coming straight down the middle, and you can see how it looks when someone's throwing a jab. Sometimes these people that throw these like weird punches and throw shit from different angles, you'll get caught a lot more than you expect just because it's so unorthodox. You don't expect it. And it's not traditional. It's not the right technique. And I think that, Amanda Ribas is really like bouncy and stuff. And I think that she might be able to keep her distance with Macy Barber and kind of just poke, do that. And I think if it does go to the floor, I think she will be able to hold her own in there. I think she might surprise everybody. But I don't see a finish really happening in this. I see this a decision. But I think Amanda Ribas is going to get this decision. I think she will be very smart on her feet, pick her shots well, and then if it goes to the floor, I think she will be able to hold her own. And you never know. She might be the one that gets it to the floor and stays on top. But I do think Amanda Ribas is going to win this fight. All right. And other than that, like the next couple fights, we'll just scroll through these. It's not like they're very good fights, don't get me wrong. I know that this fight, Austin Lane, Justin Tafa, some people might not know Austin Lane, but he's from the Contender Series. I think the first fight he had in the Contender Series, he fought Greg Hardy and got finished. And so that kind of like took him off the map a little bit. But he's a big dude. He's 6'6". Justin Tafa's a big old dude as well too. He's from New Zealand. He kind of I've been a fan of Tafa because he reminds me of Tai Tuivasa, who I'm a huge fan of, which is funny. And we could put that on record because when I had my first interview with Super Rare, it was with Pat. He was there, and shout out our boy Kenji. And Pat was like, "All right, Mo, who's your favorite fighter?" And I was like, Tai Tuivasa. And he was like, "Thank God you didn't say Conor McGregor." So, Tai Tuivasa's been my dude. I said at that moment, Tai Tuivasa, because, best black baby. But this is gonna be a fun fight. I'm excited to see. It's Justin Tafa has, I think he used to train with Hunt. So he has like those Mark Hunt vibes where he's a smaller dude, but man, when he lands, it's great. It's usually night. And we've seen Lane get hit. We've seen him go down. And Tafa trains like some good people, bro. I know he's homies with the guys over at City Kickboxing too. So I don't know. I think Tafa's gonna win this fight by knockout. This fight right here is a very good one. I gotta sneeze. Bless you. Thank you. Brendan Allen versus Bruno Silva. If you guys don't remember, Bruno Silva had a fight with Pieta. A stand-up fight with that. And it was a very fun fight. Like this guy's game as hell. Brandon Allen's also very, very good. Brandon Allen, he had the one fight where he fought Strickland and lost. Which I feel like kind of threw him off the rails just a little bit, but he's come back. He's had some really good fights. I believe he fought one of Strickland's training partners as well too, Chris Curtis, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, okay. And then Chris Curtis beat him by knockout. So he's had some good fights. He's on a really good winning streak. He beat Munez. I believe this guy, if you guys don't remember, he's the guy that snapped Jacare's arm in half. I think like Jacare's last fight or whatever. So this guy's really good. He's gonna be up there soon to talk about a fight in the top 5 or even a title fight here soon. I believe so. But he does have to get past Bruno Silva. I think he will. I think Bruno Silva is good at everything. Sorry. And I think stand-up obviously is his best thing, but I think Brandon Allen's a more of a complete mixed martial artist where he's going to go in there. Oh my God, that's 3 sneezes. 4 sneezes in a row. No, we don't edit those out because you guys better be saying bless you, honestly. You better see it if you're in the car, if you're watching the video, better say bless you, or you better type bless you because I don't know why I'm sneezing so much. But Brandon Allen is very good. He's good everywhere. He puts his wrestling together very well with his striking. His striking's gotten a lot better, I would say, since he first fought, even though he's been really good. But it just seems like he's more confident, and he's kind of just flowing in there now. We got Neil Magny versus Phil Rowe. That's going to be a very good fight. This fight right here, it was interesting to me because Randy Brown obviously is really good. He's from New York. Shout out to Randy Brown. I believe he's been into the New York shop. Versus Wellington Turman. This guy trains with Glover and Pieta, I believe. This is at welterweight, so he must be going down. This is his debut at welterweight, I believe, because he's normally a middleweight fighter. I know he lost his last fight, and he had some really close fights too, and then it was just more of him getting finished. So that's why I'm honestly surprised to see him go down to welterweight, because it's one of those things where it's like he goes down. So like I wonder, hopefully his chin can, stay. Like hopefully it's not, I don't know. For me, it's like if you've been knocked out a good amount of times and then you cut to a lower weight class, I just feel like it might be more probable for that to happen again. But who knows? Who am I to speak? I do got the chin of more. Before I talk about the fight that I'm gonna talk about, come on, my guy, what is up with this hair, dude? Like, he was like, man, Patty's famous and has that bowl cut. Let me go ahead and get that bowl cut. Like, I'm just at a loss of words. Zaligas Zumagalov. I know he's not bad. He's not a bad fighter. I've seen him fight. He's one of those guys where you've seen win, you've seen lose. The hair is an interesting choice. It looks fake. Like, I don't know why. I just didn't even think like that would be his hair color. It looks like a Lego piece. It's kind of weird, honestly. I don't. Hey, kudos to you, my guy. But if y'all ever caught me on the street with this, you can go ahead and slap me. And hopefully it's a wig and it'll just come right off. But that's a weird choice of hair selection. But this fight right here, shout out to the baby shark Tabata Ricci versus Gillian Robertson. Gillian's doing well. Don't get me wrong. She's doing really well. She has a very, very strong ground game. She was the fighter that they put against what's it called? Rodriguez, who is teammates with Tabata. And she won that fight. She submitted her. So it was interesting to me. I was like, damn, they're just going back to back. Like, sometimes I wonder if they do it on purpose, where they have, like, if your teammate loses, they're like, oh, let's have you fight the person that beat your teammate, especially because they're in the same weight class. That's also another crazy thing about this sport for me. It's just like, it's hard. You can't get around it, but there's so many people that are in the same weight classes that train with each other that it's just like, I don't know. I couldn't even imagine it. So shout out to all you fighters that do it. And, like that was with Aljamain and his boy that don't want to fight because, like, Marab, because they're too good of friends and they don't want to fight each other, and they said they're not going to fight each other. So that was always weird. But anyways, Tabitha Ricci, I got to go with her and watch her train some jiu-jitsu, which I'm still working on this stuff. Sorry, I've been busy, my bad. But also Muay Thai, which I did get over, so make sure you go to her Instagram and check that out, because we made a dope-ass video of her training. She's a little beast, man. I've seen, that's the thing with me. I've been around this fight game, so I've seen a lot of people train. I've seen pros train, amateurs, all that stuff. So I can see when people are good, I feel like I know when people are good. I've watched this sport for so long that I know when people are good, and she's really good. She's 5'1" compared to Gillian, who's 5'5". Her reach, she has a 61-inch reach. She's shorter. She has a smaller reach. She's a little baby shark, though. She'll take you to the floor and submit your ass. I saw her doing some work in when she was doing jiu-jitsu with grown-ass men, taking them down, doing these cool trips and shit. I'm like, she's no punk. Don't get me wrong. And Gillian is also no punk either. And her thing for her fights is she's a submission artist. She submitted Rose in that little, not in the UFC, in one of those grappling tournaments. And, she has a really good ground game, but so does Tabitha. And for me, too, it's like she would have to use her grappling. And as you guys, it's a trend, right? And you've seen it. It's normally the shorter, stockier fighter. They're not the easiest to just go in there and take them down. They're actually a little harder to take down. That's what, like, Volk with Islam. That's what he said. He wasn't used to that. But the thing is Tabitha has ground game. She's very talented on the ground. So I think this is going to be a striking fight. And from what I've seen personally, Gillian's not bad at striking, but obviously the baby shark is, I feel like the more elite striker within the two. Normally, if she's fighting, she has to fight these really long people, so she can't use it, but Gillian only has 2 inches on her, so it's like, I don't think it's going to be that much of a mismatch. or it's going to be that hard to close the distance. And I saw them what stuff that they were working on. I think she's going to be able to close the distance. Gillian's tough, but I think we're going to see Ricci get a nice little finish. It's either going to be a finish in round 2 or it's going to be performance of the night. I think this fight might be very, very fun, and we're going to see them going back and forth, and it's going to be performance of the night, and we're going to see Baby Shark coming out as the victor. But other than that, very good fight card. I'm excited for it. The main event is something where it means a lot in the featherweight division, but it's such a good fight. Like, if you don't know these fighters, go back and watch some of their fights, because usually they're just finishes. A lot of them are just finishes. So there is some decisions, but if you like entertaining fights and you want to see like the freaking violence and stuff like that, go watch those 2 fights. Ilya is the favorite, which makes sense. He's coming off of a win. Josh Emmett's coming off of a finish loss. Ilya finishes all his fights, so it makes sense. But man, this fight card is exciting. I couldn't be more excited. I'm so excited. Yeah, the last thing that we talked about Conor last week, but like supposedly he missed the USADA deadline. So now, from what I read, Michael Chandler was saying that they wouldn't be able, because he's not in the pool, he wouldn't be able to fight within this year. And I know that's what the plan was. Michael Chandler's been waiting for a long time. Now they did the Ultimate Fighter, but they said the last pay-per-view is, I believe, December 19th, and Conor's not going to be eligible to fight till then. So it's like, bruh, you just got to look at the man's outside of the octagon. I'm going to keep my eyes closed because I'm dead serious about this. I think deep down he wants to fight. You know, it's in him. No matter what, he's a fighter. Can't take that away from him. He's not scared to fight. He's not any of that because he's done it for so long. He was a champ. But he made so much money. He can do whatever he wants. I don't think when it's a dangerous fight like that, even though I think he would beat Chandler. Honestly, from my point of view, I think he has to have more of a, I hate to say it, and you can't really get him in UFC, but you can. He needs an easy fight. He needs a warm-up tuna fight, and Chandler's just not that. I'm talking about for McGregor. And, it's just like, dude, unless, which I wouldn't be surprised, UFC does some weird shit to just get him in, who cares, which wouldn't surprise me. This money talks, but I just don't know, man. It's just, I'm not a Conor fan. So if you're here and you want to hear some cool stuff about Conor, stay, but you're in the wrong spot. But yeah, so anyways, those are my picks. Real quick, we'll scroll through them one more time for you guys. These are the rankings, but I got Josh, I got Ilya, I got Amanda Hebus, Justin Tafa, obviously. I'm going to go David on this one. I got Brendan Allen. I think Neil Magny's going to show why he's the man. Randy Brown. This guy right here is actually really good. And then I got Tabitha Ricci. Place your bets, dude. And also, dude, you know what? Just because of the haircut, dude, I'm going to go with Zalagas. I hope I'm saying your name right. But, dog, that haircut is sick. I hope you win, bro. Win. With that haircut, man, you need to win, dude, because then you can, like, do your whole little shaky thing, and, it's probably all sweaty, flying everywhere, look cool, slow motion, la. But, yeah, those are my picks for this weekend. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Again, if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all of our socials, Super Rare, Lift God. We can drop all this dope merch. You can go pick it up. I know you're about to see your boy looking fresh in the merch, too. I know I look fresh with this. I guess I just got the cut, too. And, yeah, make sure you follow us, subscribe, comment, like, share, do all that good stuff. Thank you for coming by. We'll see you next week to see if I was right.